So I wish to share what it's like the day after you've jumped out of a plane you can't quite believe you jumped out of and never imagined would be anything you'd ever do. So had to overcome an enormous amount of fear to do. 10 out of 10 fear when I signed up to this about, 6 weeks ago. And by the time I got to the day, I was about 1 out of 10. And that's a healthy amount, and we're not supposed to be zero. Let's face it, we're about to do something that is a primordial fear, which it's healthy to mostly avoid, let's face it, unless you've done all the safety checks around it, which I had. And it was a safe thing to do, to a certain extent, obviously. So therefore, 1 was a good place to be out of 10. And today, oh my God, it is, so far, it's about 11, and it's been the funniest day of my life because I can't stop laughing. I really can't stop laughing. I had the most amazing laughter yoga. So I've been trying to do yoga for the last 2 hours, and every time I breathe in, so I pose, and when I breathe out to do the other part of the pose, I just guffaw with laughter, continual laughter. In the end, I've just had to lie down and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. So if you're wondering what overcoming fear is, it's obviously laughter, because it's just incredible, uncontrollable laughter. And I was just, every time I thought of anything, I just thought it was funnier and funnier and funnier. So like, I thought, oh my God, what if this was my class, my yoga class that I go to? I'd be uncontrollable. I'd have to leave. And then I pictured everything that went on yesterday in the plane, and it was just the most ridiculously hilarious thing. So I obviously hadn't allowed myself to even consider what free fall meant. I mean, yes, it obviously means you're free falling, but actually, when I was mentally rehearsing, which I did every day for the last 6 weeks, what it would be like, and giving myself the ability to feel amazingly strong feelings of positive feelings about it to take with me, I hadn't actually considered what free fall was. I mean, you are actually falling through the air with gravity like the only other thing going on. It's amazing. And yeah, and of course I did feel scared, but I also was like, this is just happening, and that was the thing. I actually found the whole experience safe, because I was so scared beforehand working up to it. I'd been through so many fears, I'd had to overcome so much, I've done so many things to overcome this with other people and with myself a lot, mostly with myself, to be honest, with all the tools that I know to work on other people, and to just did them with myself, and I'd do them every day until every day I would feel confident that I could do it, and I could do it in a sense of openness, because that wasn't it. My wish for this was not just to do it. I thought at the end of the day I might well do it, but I didn't want to do it in a screaming, terrified fashion. I wanted it to completely change my concept of what fear meant, and it has completely done that. I would say, it was a tandem skydive, and I felt so safe, really. When I look back, I'm now looking back and I'm thinking, tandem skydiving is safe and easy, because actually what do you do? The thing you do is get over your fear. That is big enough. We don't need to have any other things to do. But really, that is all there is. And that is a lot of things in life. This was the thing that I wanted to overcome, because I knew that a lot of things in life were just down to my fear. And whenever I did overcome my fear of something, it's actually like, well, that was quite easy. And the skydive was probably the easiest of all the things I've ever had to overcome. The fear wasn't. The fear was like really hard to overcome, but I did it. But the actual doing the event, all you have to do is like fall. Put your arms out occasionally. lift your legs up. And the most amazing thing was that so it all set up for me because I couldn't do it last week. So I discovered I was ready. So when I couldn't do it last week because of the weather, I knew I was ready. So then I had this whole week to drop into, I know I'm ready, and then just go into those feelings and every day build them up into, I'm just not just ready, I'm going to have an amazing time with this. And then when we actually got to yesterday, we had all these things in our way to be able to actually go ahead. There was an accident that shut off the road to get there. So we had to go all the way back round where we'd come from so that we'd arrive. We were about 10 minutes late, thinking, we could have been worried that we'd miss our training. But no, just considering, right, this is all going to be perfect. This is all going to be fine. Trusting we're going to get there. And then wanting to get there. Each time it was something like last week, I knew I wanted to do it. It wasn't like, oh, good, I hope I can forget this. It's I want to do it. So when the road was closed, I want to get there. When we got there, we had our induction, really quickly. They said, oh, you'll be waiting hours, and then suddenly it was like, you're next on to do your induction. It was like, what? So we went and did that. That sounded really cool. I got so much confidence from doing that I actually signed to go up to 15,000 feet rather than 10,000 feet. I mean, what? And then we then thought we'd have a while, and then we were called really quickly to go in. It's like, oh my God, what, already? So we then got our training, and following that, we went outside to kind of wait, and nothing felt like we were waiting in a waiting. It's not something that was like tedious. It was always like you're on the roll. So the next stage is coming up, and it's about transforming anything that's coming up about that. And I met some lovely people, and we just had normal chats. And so we would, just find you're having a normal conversation about something completely different with someone else. So it's not about being about you and your fear. It was amazing. And then the weather came in just before we were going to go in. We were literally togged up, totally ready in the awaiting the plane to land stage to pick us up. And the weather came in, and it started raining a bit. And they said, you're going to have to wait for the weather to go over. We don't know. We now don't know if we're going to be able to do it. So it was like, oh my God. So another waiting meant that we were wanting to do it. Well, me. I was then finding, oh no, I really want to do this. I'm so ready to do this. So we had to wait for that. And then they called us in to say, actually, we don't know until we get up in the plane whether you can go out or not. So we will literally be going up there and we won't know. So I had to go through all of that, getting on the plane, sitting on the plane, tiny bloody thing, tiny little flimsy thing. And they have this roller door, which was kind of fearful when you're looking down thinking, oh my God, there's this roller door. When we're up in the sky and they're opening it up to check whether there's any, how the clouds are doing, to whether we can even jump out even then. And I just kept thinking, well, this is all happening for me because it's giving me the confidence to know I want to do it, even though I'm feeling really I know I'm feeling scared, but breathe. And I felt in control of the fear. It was just like, I know that this is normal level of fear now. And I was holding the points on my hand, the triple warmer, to help free the fight or flight or freeze that I've managed to master the art of in the past. So even at the most ridiculous of things, and it was like, I'm not going to have that here. I'm not going to have it. And I wasn't. It was like, I'm still working through this. So I thought, I can do this. Even if I get this far and have to go back down, next time I know what this will be like. I know I can overcome this far. And that's a scary bit. They say when you get in the plane, everyone feels scared. So I think this is normal. And then it was just like the light went from red to green, and it's, oh my God. We're actually going. And I realised I was sat in the first jump out seat. So ready to jump out. And I just had such confidence in my chap I was with, Ryanair. What a guy. Manifested him in the morning. I suddenly realised I hadn't actually, in all my preparational mental rehearsals. I hadn't actually rehearsed who I was having, just that I was just dealing with me. And it was suddenly in the morning, I thought, no, who am I going to have? I'm going to have someone who I really, really trust. And when he arrived, I was the only one in our group who met. He came up to meet me like a good hour before we jumped, which no one else had. And when I met him, I just thought, oh my God, you are so wonderful. He was like a surfer dude of the air. He had dreadlocks. He was just so cool. But, you know, not cool that he didn't care. He was cool that, what's there to even worry about? It is so easy, this. You know, he was like your surfer dude coming in, they're born for it. You know, the ones that you meet, you just like, they were born to do this. Well, this was him. He was born to do this. He was a pilot, and he had done over 10,000 jumps. I found out at the end I was his 11th jump of the day. But he made me feel so special. He wasn't like, oh yeah, another jump. Because for him, it was like every moment was special. Every person he met and did it with was special. He was such a spiritual guy. So he was in the juice of the moment, which is why he did it. And he knew that it was nothing to do with fear. It was to do with fun and excitement and meeting people and letting go and giving them the time of their lives, which is what I needed. And the other person that I'm so grateful for is Georgia. Oh my God, I couldn't have manifested her, although I did, obviously, because I gave birth to her. Ha-ha! Well, she wasn't, I mean, all she thought was this is fun, this is going to be fun, this is going to be fun. You know, can't wait, this is going to be fun. And that's such a fantastic energy to be around. And you know, at the end, she said, and this really cracked me up every time I did in my meditation and yoga this morning that I thought of this. It's just so ridiculous. She said, I wasn't even nervous. She said, I don't know what's wrong with me. Because everybody, even the person who was giving our like induction, and she'd done, I don't know how many, she'd done 50 jumps or something, and she said she was nervous every time. Everybody, the people who were hitting us up, and they'd all done like 100 jumps and things, and they're saying, but I'm still nervous every time. And there's Georgia, I wasn't even nervous. And then saying, what's wrong with me? Because she didn't need to be nervous. I mean, this is the whole difference with her and me. That's why she trained to be a ski instructor, and, you know, like, and, you know, it's just so funny that we can be of the same womb space and and have such a different thought about this sort of thing. Although not anymore, because I am feeling so confident. I'm so confident. And the other person that was really great to have there was, we met another girl, Lucy, and she reflected how I thought I would be, but wasn't being. So she was nervous, but she was still cool. I mean, she was like so much cooler than I would have been. But she said, oh, I'm really bad at listening to instructions. I just don't get them, you know. And this is the thing that I discovered on the way. There's so much I've discovered on the way, and one of those was fight or flight or freeze, and that I understood that I always thought I kind of went out of my body when people were giving instructions out of fear. Actually, apparently, it is that primordial fight, flight or freeze. And I just, like a lot of us, we confuse what stress in the old caveman kind of days was supposed to be about, like, you know, there's a saber-toothed tiger, with feeling fear. And our bodies, when we go into stress, all the blood goes literally from our head into our limbs to run away, and we cannot understand what people are saying. We can't compute anymore, quite literally, our cognitive ability, because it's no time to just sort of work it all out. It's about fight, flight or freeze. Do something that's going to save your life. And I realised why I've not been able to understand instructions when there's a big thing about it, when it's really important. Like when the guy said to us in this training room, right, you've got to pay real attention. I went, and they thought, no, just breathe, relax and pay attention, because that's what was been going wrong. And I understood and I got it. And it was he did a fun induction. And so it was just really interesting having someone else reflect to me what I would have been saying. And I was so conscious of everything I said and I was conscious of what they were saying as well. The instructors, like the girl on the ground is saying, not the instructors, they were cool and relaxed with it, but the girl on the ground was saying, oh, like everybody gets nervous, everybody gets worried when they get in the plane. And I was thinking, don't say that, don't say that. And I'm not going to choose to. And every time I was asked, how are you feeling? I said, I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling ready for this. Because then Even if I said I'm going to be confident, I'm going to be ready, then I'm giving something away. I'm saying that I'm not ready and I'm going to be. So no, I was like, no, I'm confident, I'm ready for this. I said they missed, and I would laugh and say, this may not have been the case just a bit earlier, but I am now. So I was being truthful, and they laughed because of course they're acknowledging that it doesn't mean that I am 100% confident. It means that I am acknowledging that there's part of me that's 100% confident, and I'm gonna like go into this. So it was just such a turn of events for me to choose and be so conscious of everything around me. And then and the experience itself, so the free fall just like was a I can't believe I'm doing this experience. It was just a I am here, I'm doing this, just be in it. And you're going at 120 miles an hour towards Earth, you know, hey. And then suddenly it's like, woof, going upwards. And it's the canopy unfolding. This canopy is huge. And then it's like, oh my word. And there's the man to wave at, my photographer. And you know, and he's just like that. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing because he's suspended in air. It's like a cartoon. He's suspended in air. And then Ryan's pointing things out. There's a cathedral. Oh, where? Oh, look around. There's, say, Sarum, old castle. Yeah, that's where I walked Lulu. And then I'm looking down and thinking it's like being in a bloody aeroplane without the windows and without the seat. But it really is. Because he told me to put my legs up, so I was in like a seated position, and it was quite literally like being in a plane, because we're so used to looking out of a plane window and seeing everything below us. Only I'm floating with it. So I'm floating in a plane. So what our mind does is it puts ourselves in a state where we know what was going on. And for me, the safe state, of course, is, well, I know this. Well, I know the framework for this. It's sitting in a plane looking down. What's even the worry? And I felt so safe. And then I saw Georgia, and they went, and I was like, my God, Georgia's floating on air up to me. Hello, you know, it's bananas. And then we went off in this spiral. Well, no, I saw her going off in this spiral, and it's like, oh, I can't believe it. It's magic. How's she doing that? How's she even surviving? They're going, woo! And then he did it with me, and it's like everything everything I've ever wanted to enjoy about roller coasters and haven't, because I've never felt safe in a roller coaster, because they're like rickety and things can happen. And somehow I was so trusting. He was like the bird with the wings, and he was like, we can do this. And I already saw Georgia doing it and being fine. So we went round and round, and it was just the excitement of it, and the round and round and round. And I know I was going, wow! But I like to think, and I haven't watched the video yet. I don't even know if it's arrived. I haven't checked, because I wanted to do this before I watched it, because I might have different thoughts having watched it. So, but with this, it was like, woo! I'm like you would do on a roller coaster when you're screaming out of excitement. It wasn't a fearful scream, whereas I could hear the scream, and it could be, but it wasn't. It was like, yes, and it came from a deep part inside of me that was just, yes, let go of a fear of it. And the most amazing thing, as we were just flying around the place, was when we came down lower, I was like, oh, what a disappointment, we're nearly there. And the thing of the landing, which if I look back, the Thursday before my previous jump was supposed to be, so 10 days ago, I shared with someone that my biggest fear was that it would be on landing, that basically I would be paralysed. And it would have to be on landing, because it doesn't paralyse you in the sky, does it? So I would be paralysed. I'd have done something that, I shared this with a couple of people actually, that I'd be responsible for having changed my whole life in a terrible way and having chosen to do so. And one of those girls worked in the spine ward on a hospital and said that there's plenty of people that have done that she works with, but they still have a life and they still live life. And you know what? I was so blown away with confidence, so in the moment, so that this is just safe, that I didn't even think about the landing. There was actually no thoughts I had whatsoever about the landing when I came into it. It was just like, oh, that's a shame that this is finishing. Oh, look, there's my photographer waving at me on the ground. I didn't expect him to be on the ground. I expected him to be there. Hello. And that we just came towards it gently. I had every confidence in my flying man. And I don't even know what his legs did. He must have somehow like landed himself. I just had my legs out front, and And the landing was quite literally like the sort of thing, you know, if you've got a toddler pushing you on a tea tray and you don't go very far and it's all very gentle and it's like, there's not even any friction, it's just like, and that's what it was like. Oh. And it's just when I go inside and I think about what's life, it's just like, oh my God. Letting go of the fear that there's, I don't think I could possibly have fear about anything like this again, other than something even bigger and better. So all other things now, no worries whatsoever. So maybe, you know what, I am going to do it again. I am going to do a tandem, and I'm going to do it from 15,000. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, the 15,000 we couldn't do. We had to do it from 10. So again, they took away the opportunity to do it higher. So it was like, I said, 10,000 suddenly seems easy. Because the cloud had come down, so we couldn't do it. So my next time is going to be a tandem, 15,000 feet, no rain. We're going to have sunshine, just letting the universe know. And then I'm not discounting learning to do it properly, as a single. I'm not discounting. Now that I know would be another thing to work towards. So we'll see. We get a big discount for doing it within a year, another tandem. So I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe I'll do it for my birthday next year, because it's my anniversary and birthday. Because it's 5th of July, my birthday. 2nd of July, we're wedding anniversary. 25 years. I'll have been married. So you know, it may be for that next year. But I'll just do it beforehand, you know, because it's got to be within the year. Oh, how cool is that? And I know that the only thing, I don't know, I believe at this point in time that the only thing that might bring up this level of fear that I've had about this before would be learning to do it on my own. But I know that the coolness of its arrival, and I know I could do it. Yeehaw! So my message to anyone out there is, oh my God, put it on your bucket list. And the thing is, of people that have always had it on their bucket list, the part of them has always believed they could do it. The thing with me was no. There was no part of me that ever believed I would do it. It was never on my bucket list. I picked up the leaflet for Georgia, my daughter, not me. And my motivation for doing it, apart from a very worthy cause, and that is just amazing that I've raised this money, which I'm so grateful for everybody because I mean, at the end of the day, these are fears I've chosen to overcome, and people have got. Homelessness is a completely different level aspect of fear. This is adrenaline fear that I have previously got adrenaline fear for things that didn't need it. Whereas, you know, being homeless, that's not about adrenaline fear. That's a completely different thing. So I am so grateful for everybody that has sent their money, and that. I mean, I completely paid for my my flight and camera and everything, so it's all going 100% to them, and we've donated a lot ourselves as well, because it's a worthy cause. So I'm really grateful for the ability to do that. And that is another thing, I think, when we donate, how amazing is it that we are in a position to do so, that we feel into ourselves and recognise the privileged position. Whatever your position is, it's privileged in comparison. And I think actually that's one of the most amazing things when we give something for someone else in a lesser position. It doesn't matter how much money we do or don't have, how less abundant we feel in ourselves, that we realise that we have something that others don't, and we are in a position to give, and that makes us feel more abundant, because we all are more abundant than we realise. And it's all inside of us as well, how we feel. You know, that's what this has all shown me, just how much I feel. Whether that's fear or love I now feel so safe and so free and easy and so trusting. It has put me in such a different trusting capacity with myself. It's unbelievable. Ah, amazing. Anyway, where was I going before I went into the charity? Don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm going to sign off now. So, oh yeah, no, that was it. Yeah, if you have to overcome such an enormous amount of fear, then this will be the biggest gift to you, because actually, yes, those that know they could do it, great, and it is amazing. Those that know you believed you couldn't ever, This would be the biggest gift ever. I mean, I feel like I trust myself beyond belief. I trust my inner self, because part of me kept saying, even though you've never believed you could do this, this is going to be the biggest gift for you. Because in order to overcome this, I had to dig so deep. I had to learn so much about myself. I had to free so much about myself. And that's what this laughter is all about. It's just like my whole body of letting go of all the fears I've ever had about anything, I think. I feel fearless, confident, trusting in my inner self, safe. Like, if you can feel safe in the middle of the air, what is there left to fear? Oh, oh my God, just do it! Yes! Lots of love, everybody. Bye-bye.